Hello guys, how are you today on this really nice Monday? Or at least it is here. We had rain all weekend, like a lot. Our pond is wanting to overflow. But today is beautiful. So, I have this idea. On how to collage something different. I'm sorry, I have an M&M in my mouth. And it's the last one. So no more of that. Okay, so I took this big journaling card that was in one of my paper pads. And I just thought it was pretty. And I thought, I'm going to cut this out and collage and just barely pop it up off the page. Or maybe just insert it in the page. I think I have it upside down. Like that. And I think if it turns out all right, I may put this floral I found on something else on top of the collaging. Now, yes, everyone tries to find something different to do with collaging. And this is one of my attempts at doing something different. So, yes, this is big also. This is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 by 9. But the book I'm doing for the botanical book I'm doing, that's the size of the book. Book. So this may go just as a slip in or just paper clip it into the book or whatever. And I'm going to fix up, I did cover the back of music sheet. I am going to fix up this as some journaling, have some journaling on the back. The front will have this portion. So let's collage on this to start with. And then we can trim it really well. Let me fix my camera. I'm sorry. For some reason, it slid down. And I want you guys to be able to see what's going on. So how about that? We'll just do it close up, and then you can see. If I remember to stay where I'm supposed to stay, right? So did you guys have a good weekend? I hope you did. My sister came from Kansas City, and we just played in the scrapbook room, or my craft room, and just had good conversation. Now, I think what we'll do is try to decorate this. I'm going to lay it right here where you can kind of see it. Kind of decorate this where it has some of the similar colors as the outside. But it doesn't have to be an abundance of that color. Okay, so let's start. We want to think about too, like we wouldn't want this to be behind that, right? So let's toss it back in the box. Well, I think we want some lighter colors and even pinks maybe, or pale colors more so. And so let's just get started. I want to see if I can use my tear tool without being too annoying. I just think it makes cooler tear lines. That is, if you can get under them and get it to tear correctly. See, I just like the way it does that. And now remember, when you're on the outside of this, straight edges aren't going to do you any good, but you can do a straight edge out where you know you can cut around it, okay? So that's the plan. So we're just going to do it like that. So let me get in here, make sure you guys can see, okay? I'm trying to get my book over here too. Get out my glue stick. Got a brand new one. I'm telling you, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going through glue sticks. And I love it. I love everything that I've done. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I was going to show you. Let me put this piece down. I wanted to show you everything that I sewed since we last worked on collaging. You know, I always leave with us needing to do the sewing. So I want to show you that. And I also want to show you what I did over the weekend. So I think one of them that we did together was this big one. And this has got like 3 sheets of text under it. And I fussy cut this floral out, which was a trip by itself. And just kind of lightly inked a few things. And I really never have any place to use these little birds from Tim Holtz. So I used them instead of a label, and I added another little bird right here because it is spring after all. Then I stitched around it with a straight stitch. Now this is for my botanical book also, if I have room for all this stuff I'm making. But it's going to be a fun book. That's the first one. We also worked on, let's see, let me find the back. Let me find the other one that went along with this, and I chopped it off because I didn't like it, remember? Okay, so we had this side, and I think this was up here at one point. And, or maybe this side, it was on this side. This was up here. Of course, this is turned sideways now, but I didn't like the looks of this. So it was down like this, and I just chopped off the floral part because it just didn't look good. It didn't look like what I had in mind. And so I didn't want to throw this away, so I flipped it over. I left it like this, and I flipped it over and collaged on this side, put a cute little red tag and a little bird with red breasts there to, I don't know which book it will end up in, or if it will end up in anything, because I wasn't crazy about the layering of these flowers, but it probably was just me being fussy. So then this was what was left. Let me make sure you can see. I zoomed in, so I'm trying to stay in the same spot. This was what was left, and I used one of Gail's ribbon digitals, put on a cute little label here and another little bird. I just love these little birds, just so you know. You may see them several times. And then this is the back with a little yellow bird with this big, nice big label and several places to journal. So, not sure where that's going to go either. Now, my plan for the next 3 things is, this was came out of one of the Tim Holtz packets, you know, that has a bunch of different cards in it and so forth. The back had just striped, like lines on it. But I went ahead and collaged the back and put on a label. And then on this side, this already had the flower and all the words behind it. And so I just collaged around this so that it would look good in the book. And I just did it in reds, mostly, and a little bit of music sheet here. So that's that one. And here is a bigger version of that one, only it goes, I think it went this sideways. Yeah, you could still see some of the letters there. And it's real similar. And so, yeah, that's that one. And then I ordered some, Gail had ordered some vintage envelopes from the Snippet store, I think, on Etsy. I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me, or I would tell you. Maybe I do. Here, just a moment. It is, well, she doesn't have a return address on here. But it's the Snippet store, I believe. And you get 25 envelopes for like, it was less than $10. And it takes a little while to get here because she's from Switzerland. but it's well worth the wait. I got some really cool envelopes. So this was the first one I did. I just kind of tore around some florals on some papers. I wanted to keep some of the address and so forth here. This is the stamp and the postmark that was original. This is just some that I added. And so I'm thinking this particular one is 1968, which is the year my sister graduated from high school. Back here is some writing that doesn't make much sense, but I kind of left it at the top there and then just added some more collaging. And inside, I just did a index card, and this is a large one. And then I just tore 2 pieces of paper, glued them together like a tab, stitched around them, and all is well. I even stitched around my envelope. I just did it very thin on the outside, and then I just made sure this fit the inside. Yeah, so there you go. That is all that I worked on over the weekend and what I finished up from videos last week. So we got that business over with. Let's move on. So we want to do colors that are in this. So like yellow, green, pink. This is black. And we could do a little bit of purple. There's some like little, they look like ladybugs, but, and then the leaves are black. So those are the colors we're going to stick to. And really, I don't want anything too confusing to the color scheme, you know, because you know how that is. Anyway, all right, let's move along. I'm going to be here all day if I keep running my mouth. Have you guys been collaging? And if so, let me know what you've been working on. I'd love to know that you have. It's kind of all the rage right now, and that's okay with me. I am very happy doing it. I don't know about you guys, but I am. It is fun. So this has pink flowers and a black background, so I figured these will work on here somewhere. Let's see, maybe I'll do it right here. There's no real right or wrong way to do this. Got a little bit much on the glue here, but I didn't get the edge. Okay. I want to overlap on some of this because I don't want it to... Not worried about it covering up this gold that's around the outside. That's cool to me. And let's see, here's some more pink floral. Let's see. I forget that I have my little I want to try not to use a bunch of tiny pieces on here. I feel like sometimes you look at a section and before you know it, you've got all these little pieces because you didn't put big enough items on the other side. So that's my goal right now, is to try to do that. Okay, here's something with, let's just tear some of this. How's that? So it's been quiet at my house this morning because we are all, you know, we partied too hard with my sister, if you want to call it that. No, we really didn't, but I'm always tired when she goes home. It's like we really don't do anything out of the ordinary, but it feels like it today. I'm like, I am going to do a video because I need to wake up and get busy. And I need to work on my book. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Here's a cute little cream color. See, I don't like too much of the white, but I think I tear it off the wrong way. And I want to tear forward instead of backwards. But when you do that, you get too much. I don't know, too much of something. I don't mind a little bit, but... So, guys, got a story for you. Don't want to bore you, but this is what we did on Friday night. My daughter, and I think I told you something was coming up about my daughter. My daughter had her 40th birthday. I know, and I feel ancient because of it. And my son, he will be 45 on his birthday. But my daughter turned 40 on April the 11th. And so, you know, my son-in-law, actually is what I was going to say. My son-in-law, he threw a surprise party for her. And I tried to help him the best I could, you know, with this and that. And his mom helped, and his sister. We all kind of just jumped in and helped him to make it all happen. And I am not kidding you. Super nice, super great. She was so surprised. I've never seen her as shocked about anything. And there's nothing better than seeing your daughter just cry out of happiness. And, of course, it makes you cry. She came in, and she was so shocked because we were in this big room that she had told me later that they had eaten in that room several times when the big dining room was full. So it's probably one of the very nicest steakhouses in our area. And it's called Mahogany's. I don't know if you have one where you're at. But anyway, so he had somebody, you know, emceeing the whole thing. And I did a big picture board from the time she was born down to the time today's era, you know. She just she was shocked. We've got a video of her coming in and just boo-hooing, and every time I see it, it makes me cry. So anyway, my son-in-law, he's not someone that, you know, just breaks out and spends a lot of money. But he really wanted to pull one off on her because she's so hard to surprise. And he did. So there was about 34, 36 people there. And people she worked with, but family that made a difference in her life, and friends. Lots of her friends were there. No children, so it was even that much more fun. You know, not that kids aren't fun, but, you know, when you want to have a party, that's not what you want to do, is have a bunch of children there, right? So, it was adults only, and he had planned like a program for the whole night. So, it started off after she came in and got over the whole process. She went around. When she came in, the first thing she saw was my sister. And she knew right then something was, what's Aunt Judy doing there, you know? And so she hugged Aunt Judy, and then she saw her cousin, who's like a sister to her. And and their brother, and then it just went on, and she went to every person in the room and hugged their neck and cried the whole time. And so she had a wonderful time. She said if she never has a surprise again, she'll never forget the feeling of that night. And she'll never forget everyone that was there. And I mean, she just had beautiful things to say. But anyway, she went around the whole table, and then she was just like, you know, trying to take a minute. And then Kenny, her husband, played a video that he had put together of her when she first started singing. She's got a beautiful voice, and music has been a big part of her life. And so anyway, he put together this video, and she was almost 3 years old, and she was dressed like Annie, and I had curled her hair on those little pink curlers, you know, that make hair real tight for little girls. And anyway, and then she had her Annie doll, and she had an Annie dress on, and she was over at her grandfather's. This was my husband's parents, and she was singing for her pawpaw. She wanted to sing for pawpaw, had gotten a new video camera, and this was one of the olden days, you know, where it had the VHS in it. And she couldn't understand why she couldn't understand why she was seeing herself on TV, but she was wanting to look at her pawpaw for him to video. And he kept telling her, look at the TV, you know, look at me. And she wanted to look at the TV. I had that backwards. So anyway, she kept saying, no, you know, just grumpy. And she had a little raspy voice because she was quite the character when she was little. And she had my son, who was 5 years older, and then my niece, who was 7 years older. I just got yuckiness on this. Let me see if this eraser will take this adhesive off real quick. I must need to change my paper here. Okay, that's good. I need to take this off before I forget. Fold it over. Anyway, so she had a great time, and so he runs this video of her singing one of her first times. You know, she would sing all the time at home, but in front of a camera, that was one of her first times, even though it was her pawpaw's. And it was nice to hear her pawpaw's voice, you know, after all these years of him being, him passing. So anyway, that part was fun. And then he went to when she sang in at school in the talent show and got first place. She sang, I'm just a girl that can't say no. And of course she had the lingo down perfect. She had on this white and red gingham check dress and this white straw hat, and it was adorable. Anyway, and then it went on to her singing at the Tulsa State Fair, and they would always do what they called the Channel 8 talent show, and she wanted to do it, so we let her do it, and she ended up with either second or third, I can't remember, and she had never done it before, and it was a lot of really talented people. I think she was probably one of the youngest ones. I can't remember. She was probably 16. Ooh, look at that. I like the way that looks. What do you think? Let me make sure I'm still where I need to be. What do you think, guys? That didn't turn out bad. Now let's see what the flower is going to look like on here. Yeah. Or let's see. So we put it down here. Yeah, see, we've got the green here, but we've got pink here. A little bit of green there, but not bad. I like that. So, we're not going to do the back of this circle. We're going to lay this back down in here. Just like this. Just like it came out. Let me make sure I don't have it upside down again. It's hard to tell with all this. I'll make sure it goes in the right way, but anyway. So that looks fun, doesn't it? I think this was the, let me look. I tried to cut it out pretty perfect, but you know, that's not always easy. It acts like it's a little bit bigger than the circle. So if it is, I'll just lay it over. I had a couple of these, and I think that I only used one, but maybe I used two. Who knows? But anyway, that is going to look cute. We've got to what do you think? That's going to be cute. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over and work on this side back here. Trying to decide what's up and what's down. I want to make sure I do this right. And I'm thinking this is up because the leaves are going up. You wouldn't think that'd make a difference, but I think it is like that. Because I want to make sure I have up in the right spot before I flip it over. It's hard to tell. So I'm going to make this the top. Okay, now, and then we're going to flip this over. Just like this. And I did cover it with music sheet because it was green paper. And I didn't think we wanted green paper. But now we're going to stick with the same color scheme, except we're going to use things with lines. Like this is perfect. I could put it in the middle. And this is perfect to journal on. And I'm going to label it journal on the top. So let's just start up here at the top with it and work our way down. So this is going to be a lot of glue. So I'm going to flip it over like this, and that way you guys can see well. Anyway, so I don't know where I left off, but then it went on to her singing country music at a festival. And then when she went to college, she was in show choir. And then she was in one of their country shows, and one of their other, they had two different shows in the summertime for the college students that didn't go home. And she just, you know, thought she wanted to live there forever. But she didn't end up doing that, thank goodness. But she would stay there in the summer and perform and make money. And that was nice. So anyway, it was fun watching those videos, and people who had never seen her at 2 and 3 and as a little girl realize now that her little girl looks like her mama. We always thought she looked like more like her daddy, but she really looks like her mama. Okay, anyway, so that was fun. And then they started serving appetizers, and they brought out these giant trays of goodness. Any kind of seafood appetizer you can imagine. The platters were like huge. And anyway, so that part was fun too. And she told me I was sitting to her left, and Kenny's mom was Kenny was sitting to her right, and then Kenny's mom was to his right. And we put balloons on her chair so she'd know where her chair was. And she was in the center of the room, so that worked out good. But anyway, so then Kenny opened up the floor for everyone to roast her. Poor girl. And it was lots of fun, actually. She had such a good attitude, you know, she does anyway. And she just had a lot of fun, everybody. And she was laughing. And then every now and then she'd go, oh no, you know, like I don't want to hear this when they'd start to talk. But my son and my sister's daughter, they tag teamed. I don't know if you know this, but I don't know if I've ever told you this, but my sister and I lived next door to each other for 13 years. And she only had the one daughter. And my son and her daughter were the first, our firstborn, her only child. But anyway, so her and my son got together and they tag teamed on stories about my daughter. And so she didn't have any idea what they were going to tell, what stories they were going to tell. But they were all really pretty kind, but things that surprised you. And people were just, I never laughed so hard. Everyone that have been, people who have been posting things about the party have said, you know, they hadn't laughed so hard in forever. But it was like it started at, we all had to be there at 6 and it ended at 10 till 11. So it was quite an evening. I was exhausted, but it was so worth it. And anyway, let me see if I can put that right there. It's not, just kind of break up that green a little bit. So after everybody had things to say about her, you know, about different things in her past and stuff, they went on. I'm trying to remember what they did next. Oh, they played all her favorite music. And after, you know, they played her singing. And anyway, I can't even remember it all. But it was a lot of fun, you guys. And I told my son-in-law, you did good. Of course, I'm not surprised, but that he did. Whoops, I flipped that on the wrong side. I think I want to put that right there instead. I like that it has flowers on it. I didn't even notice it until I flipped it over. My fingers were kind of messy there. This is part of an Edith Holden book right there. So then they started serving the salad and the bread after the appetizers. And all of that was wonderful as well. And let me think what else we did. Let's see. So we ate our goodies and talked, and laughter was everywhere. And she went around and visited with everybody. I think it was about this point that she went around and visited with everyone. And then, I don't know what that is on the back of my paper, but I don't want it there. I think I'm going to tear this part of the paper. It's like a big old chunk of something. Probably dried glue. And I want it to be as clean as possible. Let me put this on there. And then I got to wash my hand off to get these fingerprints or smudges from happening. All right, that's better. Okay, now I do want to put a little something here where I left a gap, but I don't know what that's going to be yet. We need some green up in that area, but that's already got green there. So let's put a little bit of something else. Let's put a little bit of tea stain paper, maybe. So we ate our food, which was yummy, but the whole time we were eating, something was going on. You know, Kenny had planned something to go on in the room, and it just, there was not a minute that you weren't laughing or crying or something, you know. He did really good. And so, I think I'm going to go down this way. Trying to think what else. Oh, so, and then later, a little while later, he had everyone come in and tell something that they love about her, which, you know, just made her mama proud. And when my husband spoke on this part, he just cried. He had a hard time getting it out, and so did her husband. Her husband was the first to speak, and he was so choked up. But when they got married, this is a side story, when they got married, he couldn't get through his vows. And we didn't know if he was going to run or what, you know. We're like, why isn't he talking? Well, the truth of the matter was, my husband and I could see that he was just broke up, you know, with emotion and love for my daughter, which was awesome. And so he did the same thing. He might not come across as this gushy guy, but he really is. He has a heart of gold. And so you know, it was my daughter would cry in between laughter, you know, hearing different stories people were saying about her. And it was really, really nice and special. But she did tell, like I said, she did tell her aunt and I the next day that it will be something she'll never forget. So that's awesome. Let's see, that's not quite going to fit there. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure. We need something yellow down here because we got a lot of yellow going on the other side. Let's put some yellow. I'm running my mouth and forgetting to use very much yellow. Let's see, not there. Let's do it over here. A little bit of yellow. I think we need some white in here. It's getting to be kind of too much, you know. So I think what I'm going to do is tear this paper where it fits in here pretty good, and it gives another little journaling spot. Then during that time, this was interesting. During the time they were saying all the nice things about her, we had champagne. And every time we finished toasting her, every time someone told something, we toasted her. So she was being toasted a lot. And, so, get this. The menu was prime rib. It was like 15-ounce prime rib. 12-ounce filet mignon, or salmon, or pork chops, or chicken. Those were the 5 choices. We had a special menu, you know, because it was such a big group. And, anyway, and what was really nice is the restaurant kept somebody in there constantly I mean, you didn't have to wait for iced tea or anything. They were on top of things. And I know a lot of places are in those kind of situations, but it was nice not to have to ask or look for someone to get you a drink. So, oh my gosh. And then get this. I had a Caesar salad, and the butter was so creamy. You know, it's just things that you don't, places you don't go every day, you know. And, but it was her favorite steakhouse, and they would go there on special occasions. So it wasn't surprising to her that he was taking her to dinner. There was 2 other couples and them going out to dinner. And so, for her birthday, you know, just like, you know, any other birthday. And, so when she went into this room, it wasn't a shock. You know, a waitress opened, or a hostess opened the door and had her come in, and she was just, she was doing like this little stomp dance. You know, it's like, what the heck? She said she felt like she was not even, she was having an outer body experience. But anyway, because this wasn't, I don't think it was just your ordinary birthday party. You know, he just went all out. And, anyway, and then she got a lot, you know, she didn't open her gifts there because it was just, you know, she didn't want anybody to feel pressure, you know, any kind of pressure if they didn't bring a gift or something. But, anyway, she got my niece got her this beautiful necklace from Tiffany's. And, she had never had a necklace from Tiffany's, so that was cool to her. And it'll always be special to her. And I don't know what else she got, but I do remember her telling me about that. Oh, and she got a James Avery necklace from her in-laws. I do know she said that. And then we got her a nice necklace. But she gets all my jewelry. I'm passing jewelry down to her already, and I'm only 60. She's actually was wearing one of the necklaces I'd gotten her, given her, that was mine before. And she had gone to get a new outfit that day for her birthday. And as her birthday gift, you know, she went and got her a new outfit. So she wore her new outfit. So that worked out good too. All right. So now we're right here at this point. And I like the way this looks. I haven't done any with this big space. I kind of feel like we need a little something up here just because it's really a lot of green. I mean, as far as the stripes here go to journal on, I think we need to put something right in here. So maybe I'll add some more pink because I think that's really what we need. Let's see. I like those little flowers, so I don't want to interrupt those. You know what I mean? I have a feeling we're getting close on our time. I'm trying to hurry here. You're probably thinking, if you hadn't ran your mouth the whole time. But I had to share that with you guys because it was a special evening. I was exhausted yesterday. Oh my goodness. My sister and I both. The day after, we were just like, oh, you know, we're too old for this all night stuff. Let's see. I don't know where I'm going to put that. We'll just plop it down there, and where it goes is where it will be. This almost looks square, so I'm going to change the shape of it. There we go. All right, let me get my journal word. And I think on this side, we will do a, oh, let me fold up this piece of paper that is covered in glue. I think we'll do journal at the top so they know what they're supposed to do, like they don't. And we'll probably put a label on here too. So, I tell you, after you've collaged something like this, it really gets pretty thick, you know. It gets super, super thick. Okay. All right. I really should put some more text somewhere because it kind of looks odd, doesn't it? Let's do it up here. Or do we want to do it right there? Let's do it right there. Sometimes you have to repeat things in order for it to look right. There. Okay, now let's find the word journal. I know I've got it in here. I don't know if I've got them all in this area or if I have them somewhere else. I'm looking. Okay, it's not on this paper. It's not on this paper, but that's okay because I've got plenty others. Let's see what this one says. There's a journal. I want to get the biggest one, so I guess that's probably as big as it's going to get right there. I'll have to straighten it up after I get it off of here. I really like putting words on things like this. I don't know if I've shared that with you before. I like to kind of give them like a title. It's not really a title, but when I say title, I mean like instructions, I guess, on what was intended for that space. Then you just put it at the top. I'm going to run a little bit of ink around it so it's not so stark white. There we go. Now, I'm going to look for a label. There we go. Okay, now let's find a label. Now, what I will do off camera that just takes forever is I will maybe throw some ink on here, and then I will, I don't like that one. Some of these say 2. They can be whatever you want them to be. I think because this is such a big project, I kind of like this different shape. Let's do it. It's not one we normally use, right? So we're going to put it over here where there's not a lot of journaling space. Okay. Can't believe I got that straight, guys. All right, so we've got the first project done, and I will sew around this, and then I will put it down in here, and then we'll put, I'm going to show you how it's going to look. And I'm going to put this flower, which the flower will kind of hang over the front. So that should look really good when that's all done, right? I just found this label. It says Botanical. That would be kind of nice on there, wouldn't it? Maybe right in here. I'll wait and see. I must have dropped that out of the bag I was just working on. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, guys. Hope I didn't bore you with my sweet daughter, who is such a good daughter. If she's listening, you know your mama loves you. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here because it's been almost an hour, and I will be back with another video in a while. All right, guys. Thank you. See you next time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for what you do, guys. Bye.